Howdy everybody out there in land, out there in YouTube land. Hi Peter, how you doing? And we got some interesting stuff today to talk about, and some other things with Trinity desktop on here. Unusual. Peter wants to know why I call PCLinuxOS unusual. Yeah. Well, basically, I call it unusual because it's sort of like it's different in the way it operates in the community and that kind of thing. So maybe unusual is not the right word, unique or something like that. So could have been better on that. Good on the installs, Peter says. Sorta. Depends on your point of view, I guess. Yeah. I had oh Peter, it's a good thing you're here because I've drinking some in honor of you today. Some scotch. Sipping is more likely because I can't have too much, but yeah. Scotch on the rocks. So anyway, I got Trinity over here. Now he asked earlier, did I get PCLinuxOS Trinity installed on hardware or on a VM? I told him both. The only thing I didn't get installed was my new laptop, my new framework laptop. I didn't get installed on this, so I couldn't use it for this program today. Everything else up on it pretty much, but couldn't get it installed on the VM on this laptop. So probably didn't have the install problem I had back then either. Peter says been running PCLinuxOS Trinity for a few years on my laptop with no issues at all. And once you get installed, it's probably pretty solid, I'm sure. But yeah, I had some issues with getting it installed, obviously, and also to install it in a virtual machine was one question mark. The other thing, I had trouble installing my testing laptop, but I got it installed on testing laptop first. Installed KDE and all those things by going through the safe boot method of install. It seems to work for most things, but on this framework laptop, something about it conflicts with Trinity. Don't know what it is or what. Peter asks, is a framework laptop Linux friendly? It's made for Windows, like most laptops are. It pretty much is Linux friendly mostly. I mean, I've installed DevOS on it just fine. I've got Fedora 35 on it right now, and didn't have any problems installing those on there. Seem to work fine, that kind of thing. The only problems I've had with it, or which I'll go in maybe a bit later, but is screen resolutions on two different monitors being weird and that kind of thing. So yeah, I kind of think it's a combination of things on that front. I don't know what it is exactly that's conflicting between the framework laptop and the getting it on a VM and framework enough, because I was able to get it on this computer right here, which we're going to look at today, which is my old Acer Aspire 5, and it's run perfectly and beautifully as long as I go through the safe boot route instead of through the standard install. Show that in a minute. I'm going to show the whole installation process. So yeah, that's what it is. Now, yeah, they say you can install whatever operating system you want on it. You can. Matter of fact, I came with no operating system on it. So your stomach's been upset. I've not had alcohol for a few days. My stomach has been upset, Peter says. Yeah, stomach. So, I'm sorry about that, Peter, but hopefully it'll get better. Most of the time, if you drink a little wine or something, it helps you digest things, but this was something different apparently going on. Yeah, so no beers for you today, huh? So anyway, maybe we should go get started on the Trinity desktop and install PC Linux and see what we got on it, huh? I guess Peter's here. I haven't seen anybody else pop in yet, or nobody said they're popping in. Find out later on. Steve might pop in. Who knows? Other guys might pop in. Let's see. Let's go to my upper screen. And, oh, I need to go over here to the PCLinuxOS website. And it's just PCLinuxOS.com. And you got all this thing. Now, where you go to your downloads, you go here to link KDE desktop, Monte desktop, XFCE desktop, community releases. Those are where you have to go to get Trinity. And so, yeah, let's take you to a page on this site. Like if you go here at KDE, you know, either which one is featured as their primary default desktop that they put on here, or doesn't really matter probably. Okay, so it says here KDE ISO editions are now on the mirrors. So yeah, so you can read through all this stuff here. It's just stuff what it comes with. Includes time shift, dark table, Krita, and so you go here download locations. And you go US, which is where I download mine from since I'm in the United States. They got several countries you can go to, mirrors in several countries. Now, what I downloaded was KDE Darkstar. And I installed that first on this machine. I guess the first one I got to work on the machines. And I'm not sure what it is. Why they call it Darkstar. Maybe Peter can enlighten us or somebody knows when they come on. And they also got KDE Magnum. And then you got Monte, XFCE, and just regular old KDE. Standard vanilla KDE, I guess. So yeah. Excuse me. I'll take a swig of water. My throat isn't always on top of things. So, at any rate, that's where you download now. If you go back, then we go back to there. We go back to there. We're community editions, community releases. You get these and doing various stuff, all desktops. There's really kind of not a huge selection of them, but there are some. So we'll go there and see what you got. Here we have the PC Linux LXQT ISO desktop, LXQT, Openbox. You have the Openbox Mini. You also have the Trinity-mini and the Trinity BigDaddy. BigDaddy is what I download. That's what I'm operating off of. But so basically, you got two versions of Trinity, two versions of Openbox, and LXQT in the community downloads. No idea about the naming conventions, yeah. So, if Artie was on here, you'd probably tell us, huh? Okay, I think I remember some discussion about that on the BigDaddy Linux live. What do you call it? Oh, the show, the Telegram That's it. Telegram discussions about that, but I don't remember exactly what they said about it. Like you, I kind of got lost. I was so focused on my framework laptop install and all that kind of stuff this time, I think. So let's see. Yeah, so that's the deal. So we downloaded Trinity, ISO, BigDaddy, and that's what we're going to go and install here. Okay. So I'm taking the very beginning of the installation so you can see what it happens with it. Just select file. And here's that. Linux. Community. PCLinuxOS 64-Trinity-BigDaddy-2021-0.09 ISO. And that's a mouthful, isn't it? So open that up. We're going to customize it to give it 4 gigs RAM here. There you go. Now you got 4 gigs of RAM and 21.5 gigabytes of disk space, which would be plenty for what we're going to do. So you go to create. Now it's going to bring in, I'm going to go down here to safe boot. Right there. That will enable you to bypass, because what they said you wanted to do is you had to edit these quiet and splash silent out of there by going like this. Now that worked on something. Whoa, that went back further than I intended. It went further on some things than I worked on one or two installs. I think I attempted on these, but it didn't use oh, but the other ones didn't. That's what I was going to say. The other options, it didn't do work on it. So safe boot gets you that automatically without anything, and that's what I've had most success with installing. So go to safe boot, load Linux kernel. Now the thing about this, you get all this other stuff flying across the screen that you get to miss when you have the splash screen over there, and all that kind of stuff. I'll show you where it happened, where I was having problems with Trinity installing on my framework here in a minute. It's usually right after this part. It'll flash a screen of text on there like that, and then it goes here. Now what would happen usually is it'd stay black at this point. I wouldn't get this screen here. Just go black and just sit there forever. So I'd have to go and force shut it down in here. But when you go through the login, on most of the desktop like this, like you go through safe boot, it usually works. So US keyboard, yep. And it boots into the live version of the CD. Or the ISO, that is. And there's Trinity, a little screwy, but we'll fix that when we actually install it. So we go up here to install PCLinux. We'll click on that. Go next. It's a wizard. This isn't your Calamars installer, that's for sure, huh? So, yeah, now, since I just started this virtual machine up on it, it's got this drive that's just empty, sitting there waiting for something to go on it, so it just says use free space. Or you can customize your disk partition. Now, if you install it on a machine that already has all this partitioned and filled with other things and stuff. It'll have colors across here. It'll tell you what's XF2, 434, and XPS, and swap, and Windows, and other. So it's called the DirectX Partitioning Wizard. Anyway, so you gotta use free space. Now, if you have that, you'll have one that'll say erase disk and all the other stuff that'll go over like that. And custom disk partitioning. So we're just gonna go with that. Yeah, I think if you have some over, it'll have a thing where it 11 years old. Yeah. Yeah, it could be that it's just too new of a processor or something on it. Who knows? So, okay, so all data will be wiped. There's no data to wipe, so we'll be up next. And some of these can be a little confusing, but see, it wants to open up the mounted power address per volume in a file manager, which it does if you say so. I'm going to say do nothing. So I did it one time. I opened a file manager. I said, what are these for? So I closed it. I guess if you want to mess with it further or something like that. So okay. And you see here it's installing PCLinux. It's going there. Anyway, while we wait for this to install, I'll tell you about my framework laptop. How about that? The framework is their claim to fame is all modularities stuff. I have a what do you call this? You have a HDMI port here, and I have my C port. That's how it charges on the C drive, C cord, USB-C. And I have two things right here for USB-A. And I also have a oops, got some yeah, this is my 1 terabyte drive that goes with it. Now how it works, if I want to use my terabyte drive, I can take out one of these puppies here by pressing this and popping that out. And then you slide this in. I have 1 terabyte drive access. Yeah, I wish I had maybe 6 ports on here, but that'd probably be difficult for them to do that. But anyway, that's how these modular things work out. And also the install was interesting in that it comes in pieces. I got the do-it-yourself kit. I was hoping I could do it myself. I pretty much was able to and put it together. It worked, so it's cooking. That's good. But anyway, I was see where we're at on this install. It's almost done. It's getting close. Anyway, the install of the putting together of everything over here. Now the hard drive and the memory were easy to do because I've done those before. 1, 2. They had them clearly labeled in there. They had hard drive, memory over here, so you know exactly where to put it, all that kind of stuff. But for the life of me, I could not find out where the Wi-Fi went on the computer, and I looked, couldn't figure out where it went on there. Never installed a Wi-Fi card on a laptop before, because usually they're just soldered in, you know. And so I was looking around, trying to figure this out. Finally, what I figured out was that if you used a certain code, they have QR codes in all the parts in there. I think the one for the Wi-Fi must not have been put in because there's no Wi-Fi, no label in there saying here's where you put the Wi-Fi, no QR code for it or nothing. But I checked some of the other QR codes, and and they yeah, I might do when I get over out of this install here. Which it's finished, but it's all getting close to finished over here. Anyway, yeah, Peter says he wants to see it in the bigger window so he can see it, because the little leaky window over here that I got down here is a little hard to see, so I understand that. I'll demonstrate it one more time when I get out. I'll switch out, put the USB-A back in. How's that? So, yeah. So anyway, we had a where was it? Oh yeah, I was installing this and I was trying to figure out where to put it. I figured out the codes. I did some of the other QR codes to see what popped up, the format of the URL that put in. I was able to figure out that if I took a code, which happened to be on the Wi-Fi chip package itself. It came in a little plastic bag with the Wi-Fi and had the code and all that kind of stuff on it, so you could tell what it was. And so I figured out if I just typed in on my phone, the beginning URL plus slash and then the code, it'd pop up. So I was able to find out where the Wi-Fi went that way. And it's a good thing I did, because there's other instructions on it, since I never installed one of those on there before. Other instructions on there I needed to know, like the connecting the antenna to it, which they said, those are fragile parts, don't push them too hard. So it was hard to do, but anyway, I got it set in there, I got it working, and got it all the wires wound down the way it's supposed to go, all that kind of stuff. And I pressed the button hoping the Wi-Fi would work, and it did. Hard drive worked, the memory worked. I got 16 gigs of RAM in this, 500 gigabyte drive, and I got a good connection on the Wi-Fi too. So, so anyway, we'll go on with this install now. This boot option, you can put in 10 seconds as default, and it's pretty sufficient for most people. You can put in 0, and I think it'll won't give you a boot menu if you want to ignore the boot menu if it's the only OS you ever intend to install. I like to have the boot menu just because I want options sometimes. So I'll leave it there. Or you increase if you want more time to select your OS, that kind of thing. But 10 seconds is sufficient for me. I'll just leave it there. And you could select up here to grub to with the text menu, or grub to with the graphical menu. And you got your SDA, you can select your disk that you want it on. If you want your boot drive on different disks and what you're installed on, if you had different disks on your system, you can theoretically do it there. So, but usually you want your boot drive on the same drive you put your root on. So, next. And it's going to install PCLinux 2001. Pin that. That's all the command, boot command that'll put on there. So you can edit that if you want to. Like if you wanted to, hey, let's try this out. You can put in here. Let's see what all they have in here. Okay, that's UID, that's boot, resume. UID of the disk it's going to boot off of, or partitions to boot off of. Resume. And BGA. I don't know if I remember exactly the code for the, well, I ask. That'll allow us to set the thing on here, and it'll go in the boot part. We always edit it later if we want to change it up. There's a number you put in here that'll automatically tell it what it is. I don't remember what it is. So like 752 or something like that, I think. So yeah, you do advanced stuff here too, which I probably won't use, but look at it. Video mode, blah blah blah. Oh, video mode. Aha. Oh, there you go. The video mode. And it is 19. Let's see here. Should be 1980. I won't mess with that then. Let's just boot install. Let's see if it boots up when we boot into the system. And or it should ask us. I don't know if it asks you one time or if it asks you every time. Find out. So it's working on installing the boot drive. It's finished. So it asks you to remove the USB flash drive and reboot. Now, usually on these installs on no boxes, second time you boot into it, it ignores the flash drive that you have connected to it theoretically. But this one doesn't do that. It'll boot it up in the flash drive again. I don't know why. But anyway, we go to properties. Files and shares. Remove. I feel like you remove it while a live CD's going on. We'll have to remove it after the fact or something like that. Now, here's one thing that's interesting, is that I haven't figured out exactly if I'm doing something wrong, so you tell me, Peter, if I need to do something differently here. But yeah, you look on here, and I was looking for shutdown. I couldn't find shutdown on here. But it's actually under logout, which usually means you're logging out, not shutting down. You turn off computer. In current session, which is actually the real logout. Restart computer. So we're going to go for short options. What to boot. Okay. So anyway, but here I do this. And it's going to close down the environment, which is good. That's what you expect. And then it comes in and just sits there for a long time. If you have to force close it at some point. But anyway, it doesn't shut down all the way for some reason. Log out. Yeah, I figured it out eventually, but for a while I was going, I don't know how to log out. So I went to the terminal and then shut down now. And all it did was boot me up into a text console at that point. So, yeah, see, it just sits there. Doesn't actually shut down. But after that, I have to go here and force shut down. And now let's go see. We can delete that. Oh, it's deleted. Excellent. So here we're booting our system. Now you should be able to just boot live CD, just hit it and go. And it's loading up. Keep my fingers crossed. Because you never know these things. This is gonna be the time it's gonna crash on me. There it goes. Now we should get a log. Should get our new user information set up. So you're unsure why you have a shutdown issue? Could be because of VM. Wonder about that, but maybe. I haven't tried on it. I think I tried on this machine. I'm not sure if it operates the same or not. So I got the chat on the testing desktop, which currently has it installed on there too. Trinity, same desktop I'm showing you here. So it seems like I've had. So yeah, I've had to, after it shut down for a while, I had to press the button to turn the computer off. Shut down the system, but it didn't shut down the computer itself. Don't know why. At any rate, US keyboard, yep. So this takes you through these other setups that you have after the fact. On the second, should pop up here. Should pop up any moment now. Did I choose lock? I sure did. So I took it out of the system. Let me try this. I think this is Conqueror. Yeah. Yeah, it uses Conqueror for its file manager. It's decent file manager, I guess, from what I've heard. I don't use it much, but anyway. You saw it was uninstalled. Install it back. Sure did. Installed it back. Remove. Remove. Okay, well, we'll try it again. So I said it'll boot up into this automatically if you don't remove that. So we'll do it again. That is not your install. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's live C. What are you doing there? Yeah, it shut down the computer, but it looks like it's still going in there. Interesting. I have gifted up by trying to remove it, but it didn't let me remove it, it said. Mechanic is totally shut down. Oh, there. Now I can remove it. Maybe it'll let me remove it now. Oh, oh yeah. Ghost happening. Oh, Eris. Hi, Eris. How you doing? Yeah, no, Conquer can surf the web. I've heard it's not a great web browser, but it works somewhat. It's also can do file managers. which is interesting. I haven't wrapped my head around that combo, but I suppose if you program it, you can program it. But anyway, I'm trying to boot into this. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's see if I can force shutdown on this. Let me get it stopped. Let me double check, make sure the. Yep, it's been removed, so it won't boot up in that again, I don't think. Now we'll try and boot up into fresh this time. Okay, so I need to edit this before I go into it. Take out the ask command. And put that in there. It worked before, so I don't know why it's not working now. TDE-10. Okay. Not sure what's going on here. Let's see. Not this time. Slacking it. Yeah, I'm trying to figure this out now. First time I've ever done this. Editing this function. Minimum Emacs lock screen editing supported. I don't know anything about Emacs. This doesn't help me at all. App list. Press. Hi, Cubicle Nathan. Yeah, so I was wondering, Eris, or how you do this. How do you get out of this screen once you edit it out, what you want to edit out? It doesn't seem to do anything when I do F10 to boot. Maybe I need to push my. Yeah, F10 doesn't seem to reboot it or anything. I'm not familiar with this port. Hitting escape doesn't seem to do anything either. So I'm kind of lost here. I can force shut down the whole thing, and I'll be back same editing the same thing, I think. Yeah. The idea is press escape. I tried that. Try to escape. I tried F10. Try Control X. Control C. I guess I'll try that. Maybe I'll at least get it. So I get stuck. Yeah, I pressed the escape button on my computer. There we go. Didn't want to do that. Let's see. I'm going to take out the VSVGA, that right there. Delete that out. Yeah, what do you do in Emacs to get out stuff? I don't know Emacs that well, so kind of lost on this. Did some editing there, deleted somehow. No, I gotta click it now, but I will it. Didn't find where my cursor's at. So I'm in a virtual machine here, so just so you know. It's something crazy. And this thing, have you ever been in this editing function before? Anybody know Emacs so well? I have to reinstall it or something. So I have to do that. Should have another one ready to go. I should have kept the previous installation and did a second one for this, but oh well. Let's see. Yeah. Press Control. I don't see my cursor anywhere on here. Well, sorry about this, guys. I'm gonna put the VGA equals ask in there to begin with. There's a discontinued legacy issue. Worked on the live CDs. And work on this apparently. Okay. Okay. How do you get out of Emacs editing? No, but I didn't have any issues with the previous one. Basically, it's because I put VJ ask in the command line ask. It says it's not a legacy. It's a discontinued legacy option. Let me boot into it because it always hits that ask VJ equals ask command and boot command. And so I was trying to edit it out of there. So I edited out of there, but I can't get out of the edit. It says minimum Emacs lock screen editing is supported. Hey, I think I finally did it. Yay. Here we go. Yeah, so now it sets your time zone. Actually, now we finally got past that part. Sets time zone. Denver. There you are, Denver. Yeah. Yeah, I set my automatic. North America. United States. Next. Takes a while to think about doing this one, I guess. Probably do put up thing now. Do password. It's administrator root password, which I guess you want because sometimes you have to go in the root for this. They don't use sudo on it, so unless you install sudo itself, but that's another issue altogether. Now I put in my real name. I'm creating my user account. That'll work correctly. Looks like next to that. There I am, Rick. Yeah, it's kind of a fancy splash screen in it. Weird, ours says. I don't know. I got it done anyway, at least. Yay. Thing is, I have to go and edit that out of the boot screen thing permanently, so it won't be thrown that ever. Well, probably won't use this one time because I've already got it on this machine. I found it on this machine, VGA virtual machine. Only thing I can't get it on is this framework laptop. Be the virtual machine on that one. Don't know why. Won't work. You ready? Yeah, you can either click your username over here, or you enter it over there, or just type it in. And initialize insertion. If I remember what the VGA for 1920 by 1080 was, I would have been more solid, sure, put it in correctly, I'm sure. Right. We can go down here. Now I did figure out where the display is on this. Is settings here. The Trinity Control Center. Sort of kind of very KDE-like. Guess what KDE3 used to be look like a lot. So anyway, I figured out you gotta go to, let's see, peripherals, that's where it was. Peripherals. Then you go to device. Device, man, no. Display right there. I'm looking, staring right in the face. The display. Then I go over here. And there's my, skip to 1080. Must think is a different resolution or something than the screen actually is. There it is. So we got that. And everything else is shows us, so we apply that and boing, there it is. Configuration. There it is. We'll expand full screen boxes so you get a full screen look at it. Nice, huh? One of the little something you talking about a pseudo issue. Yeah, I noticed that. It was, I'm not sure I totally agree with the reasoning, but that's what it is. I can go into root. Now, one of the things I wanted to ask you, Eris, about that is, or if you know, assuming you know, is when you go into root, I went into one root thing on here where it allowed it to go into root for it, time password no issue, but you go into root like on a terminal or something like that. How do you do that? You just use su command or what? It's one of the things I'm curious about. I haven't tried it, but I guess you'll try it now. You got all this other stuff up here. There you go here, appearance of themes, a lot of stuff here. Backgrounds, colors, like I experiment with this a little bit, but colors. Now I kinda like blue slate down here. Apply. What happens? Wink. Nice, huh? Also Atlas green. BOS, I'm not sure what BOS is, but it sounds interesting. A lot of yellow in it apparently. Dark blue. Let's look, see what that is. Oh, yeah. Apply that one. Doink. Yeah, that's easier on the eyes for me. Man is Sue. Yeah, that's what I thought. But I didn't know if Sue is part of sudo and so it wouldn't be installed automatically or not. But apparently it is. Sue. Yeah. So apparently Sue's not part of sudo. My eyes are watering. Excuse me. I have dry, which makes my eyes water sometimes. That's why I always have to keep dabbing them with. I'm not crying. No. I can't do this. Anyway, it's nice color. I like the dark blue. Although this is kind of hard to read down here. These buttons. So maybe I should go back to the blue slate. That was easy to read, I think. Of course, great eye. Yeah, I'll leave it there. So anyway, you got that. You got backgrounds. There's a lot of backgrounds I noticed on here. A lot of interesting backgrounds. It's lakeside, which is what this picture is. Now, like you go here, you get all this. You can see the preview of it to a certain extent in your browser in here, but so it's not totally just pick and apply and figure out, but it's hard to see exactly what they are some of them. So yeah, you got that landscape. And what I kind of like is there's Mountain Lake, which is kind of cool. And you have now no one's laughing is you think, whoa, what's that? Well, it's just a bunch of design stuff thing. Yeah. Apply. Just stuff. I'm not sure what that has to do with laughing yet. No one's laughing, but it's just names they came up with stuff, I guess. Yeah, haiku. I never have gone into haiku and figured that out. Yeah, so I bet you it is interesting. Era says it's interesting haiku. I never have figured that out exactly. I never have tried it or anything like that. Let's just put it that way. Maybe someday I will. Maybe when BLD does their run, I'll try and install the sucker. If it's easy to install, it's not too difficult. Anyway, I like graphic. Let's see which one. I'm just gonna go down the one I know I like. That was interesting, but what I like is cover. You got Trinity defaults and Trinity default old. And I don't remember where it was. What it's called. I missed it. That right there sounds very weird. It's a very sorghum one. Just a design thing. The Bay, that's what it's called, the Bay. It's like one of my favorites that I set of it. Looks very good, doesn't it? Kind of mysterious. Anyway, you got that, you got launch feedback, icons, you can change your icon style. I like those for briefly. Breeze dark, you can use candy icons, which is sweet graded icons. You use crystal, dark system, free icons, icons revised. Yeah, keep it, I'll put down the thing. Adwaita, which is a pretty standard one used for GNOME. So I think out of all these, I like the dark system icons. Dark. Anyway, screensaver, launch feedback, splash screen, style, theme manager, window decorations. And your desktop is the settings here, behavior, multiple desktops, panels, taskbar, window behavior, window specific settings, internet network settings, peripherals. Make sure you guys run the display for that. And you get all this stuff down here. Security, regional accessibility, sound multimedia, system administration, TDE components, which are default applications, file association, file manager, performance, resources, service manager, session manager, spell checker. So yeah, that's all your system groupings. Except they do have some that are down here that are over here, which I think is where I went. Your computer. So you have to enter the default password for whatever you enter for root. Software management. Install and remove software. I didn't look at this that in depth, so I don't know what exactly it is. Let's try it out and see what we get here. It's going to go ahead and take a Synaptic, okay? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm very familiar with Synaptic. Most of y'all probably are too, but yeah. First I'll start up. It's not. Close. This is Synaptic Package Manager. But you can just do a search on something like let's see, Krita. Find out if it's in here or not. There it is. which is one I usually use Krita a lot. Krita and Inkscape combination. So to install, I just click on this, mark for installation. Then it's going to add all these on there. And I hit apply and then start installing it. Simple as that. But if you have other things, you can do search, or you can do all. And it shows all the things. It starts out with the cross-platform RTS game of Ancient Warfare, DRAD. Goes all the way down to all packages in the system. I wonder if there's a way to get a count how many are available. Probably is, but I don't know how to do it. Probably through using package manager, which I think this uses DNF or what? What package manager does this use there? There is. Yeah, it kind of does have an XP feel to a lot of degree. XP is one of my favorite Windows distributions when it first came out. Anyway. Then you get sharing, configure FTP, configure web server, network services, configure DHCP, configure proxy, OpenSSH Damien, configuration, configure time, configure DNS, hardware, configure graphics, browser, configure hardware, a lot of interesting things here. One of the things I noticed about this distro Trinity, at least, is that there's a lot of options. I mean, if you want a lot of options to choose from, how you want to tweak your system, there's plenty of tweaking you can do here. There's a lot of tweaking. System, authentication, manage date and time again, manage localization for your system, administrative tools, blah, 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 so on and so forth. You can all look through these as you can. And you can manage network sharing, local disk, security, which I tried. Yeah, I tried to do this, but it said you gotta do something else before you do that. So I can't remember what it was, whether it was this or something different. And you can do your boot. Now I probably set the I don't know if I set log edit the boot command line from here or not. Probably have to go into the actual boot thing. I'll be back. Y'all talk among yourselves. I've got to go to bed. I am back. Sorry about that. It's the joys of being live. Yeah, when I first used Synaptic was on Ubuntu, actually. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, there's your PC Linux. Now all these are root issues. You doing this all root here. So any of these things you could screw up your system or something if you do it wrong. So be careful, but I think this has some safeguards built into it. You don't do that so bad, I guess. So anyway, there you go. That's two other applications I have installed on here. Okay, Trinity control. We just looked at that. System menu. No personal files. Help. Software Center. Library Office Manager. VirtualBox Manager. Synaptic Package Manager. Utilities. VBox. Comes installed with VirtualBox out of the box. Try the VirtualBox out of the box. So you've got desktop editors, files. Which has desktop has scientific calculator, pager, clipper. Editors are Kate and Kwrite. Makes sense. Files has ARC, FSView, file size viewer. Peripherals. Location manager. Bleach bit. Show desktop. Xterm. Well, the default terminal is an Xterm. Appears to be the case. Always install Kitty on any distro I load up because I like Kitty. It's on all distro repos for the most part, and it does good. But console's got console. That's the default one probably on here, I imagine. Since this comes from KDE back in the day. Super user, dupe clean, GDM login setup, KDE cop, browser. Now you read all these: grub to splash, htop, figure printer, ed copy. Hey, that's my file. I have ed copy. I have ed ISO to USB install. This threw me for a Crusader, manage printing, network center, NTFS configuration tool, gparted, case discard, performance monitor. EDR and R tray. Screen resize rotate. Okay. Click on that, I guess. Console. Time shift. Bleach root. Settings. We have a lot more stuff to go through. Some of these are kind of duplicates things, like GDM login setup was on system. Bluetooth manager. And your panel. Your computer. Your printer. Figure everything. Grub to splash. Menu editor. It says this menu, I suppose. And app finder, gparted, printers, the office. So LibreOffice in there. It looks like the whole suite of stuff. Base, Calc, Draw, Impress, Math, and Runner. Also the Cal, LaTeX front end for LaTeX. PDF viewer, multimedia. Amarok, audio player, Audacity. I used that before when I did my podcast back in the day. Used that all the time. K3B. CD and DVD burning. Caffeine, media player. Not familiar with that one. K-Mix, Sound Mixer, Pulse Auto Control. Internet, you got all this stuff here, a lot of things. You have all the standard stuff that you have. Brave browser, web browser, FileZilla. Got some other things here. KNet attach, KNews ticker, KTorrent, Conquer, Network Center, Pigeon, Thunderbird. Pretty standard stuff there. Graphics. DigiCam, photo management program. Manage your photos. GIMP. Not sure what GMAQT is, but sure has some of the graphics. K-Snapshot, screen capture program. KUKA, scan and OCR program. LibreOffice Draw, and TDF front-end view front viewer. So I have to install Krita and you got some card games. Got one card game actually. Entertainment. If you're entertainment with mathematics, you got LibreOffice Math to entertain yourself with. And science, LibreOffice 7.2 Math Formula Editor. That's your entertainment for the day, is right, go to LibreOffice Math. So that's your menu basically. As I said before, log out down here is where you find, if you want to shut your computer down, you would go to log out. I was looking for shutdown originally, so yeah. So we got that, and let's see, going through backgrounds. Yeah, it's kind of what I thought was kind of unique. Trinity was unique just because it has this old retro vibe feel to it, which is kind of cool. I like it overall. And some differences, some things are a little different about it as far as the desktop itself. But I like it pretty much. Matter of fact, one of the things I liked about PCLinuxOS is that it defaults to having all the system stuff turned off. I mean, like the power management is turned off by default, as well as the lock screen and screen, all that stuff's turned off. But if you want it, you have to turn it on. Most distros have them turned on, and you have to turn it off. At least I always do. That's one of the first things I do. Usually I go to distro, turn it off. Now, I don't think this has a built-in U updater, does it? Yeah, I know my Pac-Man commands. I've done that before. I know Pac-Man, I know DNF, I know EO package, you know, apt, of course, and so, yeah. Alias is quite powerful, but yeah, it is. I like aliases. I build a lot of aliases usually. Some more than others now. With a lot of aliases, there's certain distros that provide a lot of aliases out of the box. It's like this one distro I remember had getting a lot of feedback from the fan over there. Hold on, let me see if I can turn that off. The fan noise should be kicking out soon. Yeah, I thought I had it set on here where it didn't do that, but apparently it is. There you go. There goes, no fan noise now. Yay. So, yeah, I do a lot of aliases, usually several. I do some of those, yeah. Let's see, Anything else I want to say on here? Anything else that you know that I need to show that I may not be aware of? We started to look at that. That's configure your computer. We looked at that one. That's Trinity Control Center. Looked at that one. It's an Adaptive Package Manager. And you have terminal session, as well as your home personal files knocker. I know one thing we haven't done yet we can do. As HTOP installed by default. Well, we have 361 megabytes out of 4 gigs of data on memory. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, when I first started this up, it was like 200 and some, 270 some. Pretty slim pickings there on the memory. You're more of an expert about it than I am, Eris, that's for sure. He says he's far from a PC Linux expert. I'm not a guru guy for a reason, you know. I know enough to get me in trouble sometimes. Let's see. Anyway, there you go. I got sucked in one CPU from my 4 that I have on here. And let's see if I can find that boot thing. See, I think it's in X. Let's see. I think it's. That is big wrap, huh? Oh yeah, I need to check for updates, don't I? Need to do that, yeah. That's what's one of the first things you usually do. I usually do. I tend to skip them when I'm doing these things because this uses apt or DNF for what? What's the package manager on this for? See, use RPMs. Nope, not DNF. Oh, regular. Oh, that over there, I see it. Oh, we had an update graphical and updater on this. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Yeah, the apt is on there, okay. Yeah, it's easier for me to do installs on. One of the things that you need to do on here, or they need to do on here, or whoever needs to do it on here, I need to get the shortcut for that. I don't know how you do the shortcuts here. That's shortcut. Usually that's in there. That's your keyboard settings on KDE, but I'm not sure it's added here. There it is somewhere. Input action keyboard. There you go. I have to study this to learn how to do this, but command shortcuts. You want this stuff. I think it was in utilities. Use X terminal, use conquer or console. Never seen it in here. There it is. There's a band custom. Alright, well, no, this is meta return by there it is. Yay. Yay. Yeah, so do Sue. And that's the password incorrectly, unfortunately. I can just put Sue in right. Okay. Let's see. There I am having that. Now I use apt. Apt and oh yeah. Away it goes. Oh yeah, we'll let that run while we chat and talk about those things, I guess. Back to my experiences with this laptop, I guess, while we're waiting for this update to finish and continue. And while we're doing that, I'll go ahead and go so you can see the whole kit and caboodle on this laptop. Framework laptop, small size, which I kind of liked. Why I chose this instead of the bigger one. But open it up. You can open it up flat, like that. I think it's a whole 180, as far back as it goes right there. That's pretty far. And anyway, little button right here. Now I understand this button here, just turn it on and off, also has a ability to do fingerprints. I don't know if you can do that on Linux or not. Unless you find the right distro or right combination or something like that, maybe. Or it's kind of iffy and problematic on Linux to do thumbprint readers, but I'd try it sometime if I get a hankering to tinker with it more. Anyway, yeah, it's got lights. You got lights, see the little buttons light up there, and you can do zap to put it on function key. Pressing Alt. I'm out of the way for boot up first before I do that. Booting up into Fedora. Hey, you see it there. And so Fedora's booting up on it. And it's helpful if you type it using the there you go. Yeah, so there I have a Telegram automatic open up on it. So I can check on all the other ads, what they're talking about, that kind of thing. I'll turn it off, there's the display. Yeah, and if I have it plugged in so I have a different background on that computer. So works pretty good. Yeah. So E-RAID, you know, Stanford or KD type setup here. And so yeah, I got it installed pretty easily, no problems there. And yeah, anyway, I was going to show you this here, the function key, space key. That's off. You can see all the lights are off there. It's probably 3 stages: low, medium, bright, off. And see what other features this has on it. I haven't figured out how to use this function lock up here. Try function that, doesn't seem to lock functions. Because it defaults to the main, you know, sound raising, video moving, brightness, all that kind of stuff up there, but you have to press F to get to function 1, function 2, function 3, function 4. It can be kind of tedious sometimes. Yeah, it's also got a good touchpad here, which I have it set. I have 4 workspaces. See down here, your workspace 1, 2, 3, and 4. Could add more, but I figure 4 is enough for me probably. And yeah, you move workspace just by moving your fingers like that. Sure. Anyway, there it is. That's interesting. And it's got a very sensitive touchpad. I mean, not touch sensitive, but I set it so you can tap on all you want. It won't click anything until you press down on it. Got a depressing click to it. Depress. And I'm going to show you this modules. This is one of my USB 2, one of my 2 USB ports, and over here you have this and pull it out. So I put my 1 terabyte drive in there earlier. I'm going to put this USB port by pushing down there and pop this out. And you can pop this back in. If you need another USB, you got 2 USB ports there. Ta-da! On the side I got a USB and a HDMI port. It's also got a headphone port built into it automatically. So on that, Brian. And let's see. Oh, where were you? Let's save those. Okay, looks like it's preparing kernels update stuff. This is not ready anymore in the update thing. Already har. So yeah, nice laptop, pretty much, and I really like it. Oh, the one odd thing about it though is that this has only one resolution. Yeah, it's kind of an odd frame, because it's kind of got this odd shape to it to match this, pretty much. It's a 3:2 ratio, which you don't find too many of that on anywhere else. I've never seen one before, but it's got like a 1055 or I can't remember exactly, 1255, something like that, cross by 17 some the odd an odd resolution on the screen that I hadn't seen before. But anyway, yeah. So I was having trouble when I was talking about it before. I talked about someone the terminal, the Telegram desktop app. In Telegram, I talked about some in Telegram where I have a screen up here. It's a 10. Whether you saw the screen that I have Trinity on right now, and it's still updating, so it's still clicking on that part. But yeah, I lost my train of thought. Sorry about that. Happens on occasion with me. Yeah, if I have an edited video, I can edit all this stuff out. It's rather shorter than this one. Speaking of which, so yeah. Yeah, framework laptop is what it is, Nathan. Framework laptop. Yep. I'm reading y'all's comments, so I'm kind of catch up on what's been going on. Yeah. When I hit that red thing, it didn't do anything. Maybe because it's a virtual machine. Probably don't like virtual machines. Oh, just noticed I'm red on this one over here too. My testing desktop. Of course, this is going to get deleted after a while, but it's good to get it updated for the show. At any rate. Let's see. Framework laptop? Yes, it's a framework laptop. He did, it is, says Peter. Hot dang. This cost about $1,200 and some odd dollars, 80 some dollars, I think, almost $1,300. Yeah, I got the do-it-yourself version, which starts at $7.99 base cost, and you add all the stuff to it. I added the 500 gigabyte hard drive, a NIC card, not a NIC, but a network adapter card. Also added the 16 gigs of memory on it, 2 8 slots. And I ordered 5 of these puppies. And different ones I ordered. This is 1 terabyte. Essentially flash drive is what they are, but 1 terabyte drive. It'll be used on laptops like this. I'm debating what to do with this terabyte drive here, because I have plugged in one of the USB-A ports. I already have a 2 terabyte drive connected to that, which has storage for my backups for both my home and my system. Each one contains that. So whenever I install a new system, all I have to do is pull it from there, Just make sure I do a backup of my home directory before I swap systems out, I have some scripts which do that for me, and so I have it so it doesn't back up to a backed up file which says backup on it type thing. It's more like it's like a syncing, so I have a duplicate home directory backed up, so I can go in there and pull individual files out easily and look at them and copy them over, or whatever I want to do with it. So anyway, I was like, I'm thinking either I want to install another distro on this flash drive here, or I can make this testing distro for my computer. But I'm not sure how that would work with constantly putting new distros on this thing with the grub. Of course, I can always pull it out, and then whenever I want to boot it up, I can boot it in, put it as a boot thing. So yeah, that might be a good idea for that. So, because I already have a backup system, so I don't need it for that. And I could put my home there like I did on my other one, but it's not really a set that's going to be necessarily with the computer all the time. It might go out at some point. It might get lost. You never know what's going to happen to it, kind of thing. Whereas this computer that I have installed on is finished. Yay! Some errors occurred while running transactions. Yeah. Says, of course, he wants to reboot. Want to reboot it? Let it run. See if it'll boot now. Road looks different. Yeah. You see what's going on here? I'm in recovery mode because that silly ask BGA equals ask command. Apparently I put it before where it needs to go before the kernel even loads, so that's bad. That's why I was editing out last time when I had problems. You're looking at it and going, oh, what's he doing? Okay, I'm in root. What's through here? So yeah, I can start. I'm not familiar with the non-systemd way to start that, so yeah, shut this down. Probably needed to. It only boosts back up into this, so whenever I do shut down now, it doesn't shut down, it boosts back up into the terminal for some weird reason. So we'll look at this. Let's see. I have to look at my keyboard before I type. Yes, that's available. Need a database. It's helpful in grep. They put two C's instead of an E. Hard to tell. No, it's an E. Can find that. So see if it's in user. That's in user. Might be in user actually. Make sure you put things and locate them and decide. It's kind of you get all the stuff sometimes you can't thin it down. Anyway, I'm probably going to delete this after I finish this anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it that much. So there you go. There's, I think I looked at most stuff on there we want to look at anyway, which is, unless somebody has something they want me to look at on it that I didn't look at. What am I trying to do? I don't know what I'm trying to do. Actually, I have that silly ass thing, which is in the grub command line. I added to it accidentally. Actually, I thought I knew what I was doing, but I didn't. And whenever it tries to boot up, it tries to use that and says, "Hey, I can't use this," so it just goes to cycle. It goes back to boot all the time. So I was trying to find the grub file for that I could edit nano or whatever text editors on here to take that out. That and rerun the update grep2 file on it so I could do that. So yeah, I can't remember where it is. I could probably figure it out pretty quick because I can go back to here. I can do this number. Everybody's perfect. And that type forth. Where is the grub? Okay. Boot grub, I thought. Oh, boot grub. Okay, so there you go. Over there. Come back, come back. See that right there? BJ equals ask. Added that in there. Apparently I shouldn't have done that. I'm trying to remove it. I have to edit it out each time. But then it's like, I can't get out of the edit mode of it. Yeah, getting this to work, and this is a lot of fun. Yeah, Peter says, "You're located on ground." I did F10 also Control X, but it's like it doesn't want to do it. F10, F10, F10. Anyway, yeah, I could get the grow menu, edit that out of there so I don't have this problem every time I boot up into it, but I'm not boot up into it probably again. Matter of fact, it's almost easier just to install it, reinstall it if I want to do that. So anyway, there you go. It says Trinity, we'll do that. Unless you want to see something else or want to see me fix this. I guess that's it for the day. Next week I should have it on this laptop here, depending on what OS we choose to go with it. We can install on this one. So we'll probably use this laptop next time. Yeah, I wonder what the Emacs command is to end editing. Whatever that is, probably what I need to know. Emacs command to end editing. Yeah, right. We're 2 hours, so we'll call it a day, I guess, and we'll move on to something different. Yeah, I gotta go eat too, as a matter of fact. Yeah, we eat late usually because my wife gets off at 9, so you're welcome, Eris, and thanks everybody showed up, Nathan and Eris and Peter. And I don't know if there's anybody else show up or not. Choice Cook, Chloe Cook. Let me clean my eyes off better, I think. Welcome, Chloe. And Jericho, Peter. Thank you, God, everybody. I don't think Steve was able to make it today, so maybe next week for him. Good night, everybody. Have a good time. And as always, end the thing, may the Linux Force be with you. Bye.